Hey guys, it's Nick the Booksmith. Welcome back to my channel, and I have a special journal to share with you guys today. And this is a continuation of the Seraphina story. So it started off as a carpetbagger, then a few months ago it continued on with Forlorn, and then this is the third book in the series. If you haven't read the story, I suggest you pause and go down to the description box below and just give it a minute and read about Seraphina, and this will make a lot more sense. So she's been around a while. Seraphina has been with us a while, and so if you want to get acquainted with her backstory, just give it a quick read. Okay, so you've read it. You're back. Okay, you're back. So as you know, Seraphina is now in a different place. She has left the farm, and she has come upon a traveling carnival, and so she was able to get herself into this carnival, and that is where she's staying right now, mending costumes and, of all things, shoeing horses. So this material, that this drawstring pouch that the journal comes in, was part of a costume. It was part of a shawl from one of the big name ladies that was has a show at the carnival, and you will probably meet her in the next chapter. We'll continue on with that. So this was a remnant of a garment, and so I was able to make it into this drawstring pouch, and it's got the cute little fringes down at the bottom, and it's got a beautiful tapestry fill with a gold thread running through it. It's just very, very opulent, and for that time period, this was something that most people would not be able to get their hands on. The drawstring itself is silk ribbon, and then there are some charms, some little beads that have been pinned on to the bottom. So it's just very easy to untie, and it just opens just like a drawstring, and then the journal is on the inside. And the journal kind of matches the bag somewhat, not exactly, of course, because, you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to set the bag aside. So this is Seraphina's journal. It is a hardback book. It is approximately 9x6 with about a 2.5-inch rounded spine with ridges. The last journal, as you read in the story, she had to abandon when she ran from the farm. So this is the next book that she started, and we'll learn more about that in yet the next book. I keep saying that, I'm sorry. So it ties closed with this seam binding ribbon, and there's a lot. So if you need to, again, pause this and go grab some tea and a bowl of popcorn, you might want to do that now. This is going to take just a minute, just a minute. So if we look at the outside, it's got this gorgeous tapestry on the spine and this kind of dingy crocheted trim here, and then this is the hardback part. And then if you look up at the top, it's got all the wonderful bindings sticking out and the little headband and all that. And it's the same thing of course, at the bottom too. Same deal. And then on the inside, there is a ton of sewing, just a huge ton. Huge ton of sewing. So this book is going to be very haphazard, because there are going to be pieces of garments and jewelry and that kind of thing that Seraphina, things that would get tossed or things that would get lost, she has sewn them into her book, And so there's going to be a lot of random things from these costumes, and also some photographs, because a photographer came to the carnival to take pictures of the headliners, and then everybody kind of got their picture taken. So you will see the faces of all the characters in the story. So we start out with this inside map paper, and then we move on to this beautiful sampler page. This is a little advertisement for another circus in the area. Here is a collage of fabrics and trims done in some silks and some cheesecloth, and then here is a little coin charm with some beads and the word Vagabond to go with the book down there. There's more trim down here. This is Luther, the greasy toad. So that's him. A lot more sewing here. There's a lot of little dangly charms everywhere. There is the front page, the cover page of some sheet music. There will be lots of quotes about gypsies throughout this whole book, because Seraphina is a gypsy, and so she's holding true to her heritage and keeping some things close to her heart that she doesn't want to forget. Also, some words that mean a lot to her will be sprinkled through the book as well. And some book pages. And some notebook paper. There is some stamping, some more sheet music, some graph paper. This is a picture of the carousel at the carnival. There's the other side of that gorgeous sampler page. This page has a nice big pocket down here. It's got some beaded trim and some vintage sari trim here, all embroidered with some different beaded little trims here that I thought was really pretty. And this is a photograph of some of the workers at the carnival. I'm going to explain some more. Let me do that really quickly so that this makes some sense. So throughout this book, it isn't just pieces of fabric and textiles. These trims that I use in this book, about 90% of them are authentic vintage trims that came from the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s of the last century. So we're talking nearly 100-year-old trims. A lot of these were hand sewn. I have some pieces of them to show you the backs of them so you can see the backs of some of these. Some of these are newer trims, like this is a newer trim. This was machine sewn, but I will show you some older trims coming up here really soon. Some more pictures of some men at the camp. Here is some trim here, and these are funeral beads, and these are, Mary, correct me if I'm wrong, from the 20s, and I have added a stretch of these funeral beads down here, and then a little pin with some vintage little jewelry bits down here, and all these were sewn on. This is Bonnie, and so Bonnie is 12 years old, and she is the niece of Luther, who owns the carnival. Now, Luther, the toad, not really sure if they are actual blood relatives or not. That will come out later, but she calls him uncle, and we're just going to go with that for now. Here is one of the words down here, Wanderlust. Here is part of a song that I adore, and so that is right here, and it's about a caged bird, and so I hope you like that. And then here is a little blue jay down there. Here's a fold out, and this is a portrait of Rye, and so it's kind of hidden away under this little flap. A little tree stamp down there. Some ledger. Another sewn pocket here. And a couple of words, there's epiphany and sojourn on this side. On this side here is a picture of one of the sideshows, and this is a little girl. She's a snake charmer, and she and her family are in the carnival. And then this trim is one of those old, wicked old, super duper old pieces. I'm going to see if I've got a lot in here, so I might not be able to find them all. But this one is wicked, wicked old. We're talking 80 years old. So all this is hand sewn. This is metallic thread that was sewn onto this piece. It has been backed with some thicker cardstock so that, because this was sewn onto like a gauzy type fabric, but this is copper thread, and oh, it's just stunning. It's just stunning. This is silk ribbon here and silk yarn here with some cheesecloth, and again some little charms down here at the bottom. I'll let you see that trim a little bit better. It's just stunning. So pretty. So these are one-of-a-kind pieces. Like I said, they are authentic, they are vintage. You know, so it is what it is. This is all I got. So, but I used my favorite pieces in here. So I hope whoever gets this journal loves this as much as I do. Nice big pocket over here. Here is another quote up here. This is a picture of Silas Grimm. It is tucked in this little tuck spot. Again, here's a piece of that trim, another type, and then a piece of the Tim Holtz vellum. And this has some word definitions, traveler and traveled, and so that's in there. Some more sheet music. And here is Wayfarer down here, and if you open up, this is a portrait of Mina. As you can tell, Mina was not really excited to get her portrait taken. She's sitting here thinking, so nobody can ever see this picture. I'm just doing this because I have to do this. And so after the portrait was taken, she had to find out who had it, and then she went and stole it and then kept it in her book so that nobody could see it. That was the first portrait that she had ever been in. She'd never had her picture taken before. So some more stamping down here. Here is a picture of one of the carnival wagons coming into town. And some more trim all sewn on here. On this side is some Tim Holtz vellum, but inside is this little tag. And these were the little tags that she and Bonnie would put on the costumes to remind them whose was whose and how to get them back to the owners. Again, some more extremely old sari trim. I don't know if you can see that on the back. That is all hand sewn. It is stunningly gorgeous, and then there's some silk yarn and some cheesecloth on top of that. And then this is a bead from some vintage sari trim down here at the bottom as well. One of these sideshow ladies up here, and another quote about gypsies. On this side is some vellum and another word, reminisce, down here on this aged textile. Some more book pages. Another book page with some sewing, and again some more beaded trim. Here is the second stanza to that song about caged birds, and so I stamped a bird in a cage on this side, and some more sideshow folks in this photograph. Then on this side we have some aged textile down here, and this is my very, very last piece of this metal threaded trim, if you can see it, and it is nearly 100 years old. That is my last little bit. Here is another gorgeous large piece of this hand embroidered trim, and I've backed it on this old muslin piece. There is this charm here with the beads and a gypsy bell from the costume, and then the word Odyssey is down here. The word oblivion is over here, and there is another pocket. some more of that silk yarn and some cheesecloth all sewn on. Here is another quote down here and a nice big globe stamped on there. Some more carnival workers up here. I better hurry, my battery's gonna run out. Little fold out, and some more ledger paper. There is a stamp here, and this is of witch hazel. Here is another word, it says gypsy, and there is a Tim Holtz metal pin up here. And then on this side you see that silk yarn and that cheesecloth extending all sewn on, and then I sewed around the circle of this book page, this ship. Here is Frances, and she is the bearded lady at the carnival. Here is some more very old trim. Here you go. I cut out this beautiful flower embellishment, and then this was a tassel from another piece of sari trim, and then there is yet another gypsy bell and a little leaf down here. This is hand marbled Italian paper, and then it is backed on some old muslin. Some more book pages all sewn together here, and some old textile. Well, it's not old, but this one looks old. This one actually isn't old. Some stamping up here, some vellum, and this is some old gauze trim sewn on there. You can see where I sewed through the page. I didn't even glue those on. I didn't glue most of these on, I just sewed them on. Lots of places to write. Here is another piece of an old sari trim, and this one is wicked old. This is a really cool little charm from a vintage piece of jewelry, and it's backed on that old fabric. Let me show you real quick. I had that one right on top. Okay, here it is. So this is the front of that sari trim, so you can see where the stripes came from, but look at the back of this guy. You can see all the hand sewing through this backing fabric. So they backed it on this cheesecloth type fabric, and you can see all the hand sewing. So if you can imagine the work involved in this piece of trim, and so you can understand why I am so very I use my favorite pieces, but I tell you what, I mean, look at the back of this one. Look at all those stitches, and it's incredible, and this is the front of it. It is just, can you imagine the work involved in that? I mean, just millions of stitches in there. So, like I said, I used some favorite pieces, and then I still have some left. My friend Mary and I, hi Mary, we have a source in India that we purchase from, a lovely lady that gets us the choicest vintage pieces, and so these are straight from India. We get them right from where they came from, so that's kind of a cool thing too. Okay, I will move on. I should move on, right? Okay, so cool, right? I love that. We're almost done. Here is another quote down here, and a book page, and a little pocket here, and up here is the word caged. And then on the back, this is an advertisement for another circus that she was happening in the area. And then here is my label at the back. And then here is the back page. Oh my goodness, how long is this going to be? It's going to be forever and ever. So I hope you enjoyed it, though. I hope it wasn't boring or anything. So this journal will be going up for sale at the Etsy store. I will put down in the description box when that is going to be, and so you can have a heads up on that. And so it will come with the book, of course, and its little drawstring pouch that I made to go with it. So I hope you enjoyed this journal and the story that goes with it as we follow Seraphina on her journey. And yeah, yeah, I'm having fun with this one, so I hope you liked it. All right, guys, I will catch you very soon. I'm going to be doing another DIY real soon and something fun for us to try, and so I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.